starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to HBCU Tonight. I'm your guy, Doc Holliday. Give a round of applause. Appreciate everybody for coming in. Hold on. So, I guess when I was making my session for tonight, it had basically, I think, trying to figure out. So it's two of them on here. So it's always something with this thing right here. It's always something with this thing. So, give me 1 second. But while we at it, how's everybody doing tonight? We got a whole action-packed show tonight. Starting off with the weekend preview of HBCU basketball. Then we continue on into football talk. Also, I want to give a shout out. Seriously, give a real big shout out to Ken and them over at KC 1400 who had Ruthie Bolton. And if y'all don't know who she is, man, y'all been living under a rock. But she's basically a Hall of Famer. She's basically like part of the women's dream team, and to have her on there it was a pleasant sight to see, and for her to tell a story, that was a good thing that that I saw on there. And hopefully we can get people like her or anybody to come on there and tell their story onto our platform. Not to do no copycat, but just to do something different as far as with the channel, with the program. It would be interesting for her to come on right now. Let me see something. But before we get into all of that, we're gonna go ahead and hit this first commercial break. We be right back after this. It's your boy Doc Holliday,
Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also, you can get birthday shoutouts on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal, David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle, David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket.
And we back and we are back. Woo! So, as y'all see, make sure y'all like the stream. Make sure you comment, share. Most of all, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. Should be coming up now. But other than that, y'all, let me see. Some. What's going on, man? What is going on? Let me check, see something. I'm about to refresh this page right here and see what's going on. All right, we back. I had to refresh the page. Hopefully everything come up. So apparently, when I did my session, tried to do this session, it accidentally doubled, made a duplicate session for tonight. So I know everybody's on here right now. But anyway, that I just finished clearing that out already. But if you got put some in the chat, make sure, like I said, like the stream. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure that you comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the donation button. We are get ready to head into March. This month is about to end next week. Of course, there is a leap day for this year. So, we just want to make sure everything is all gravy. Make sure everything is good and good to go. But it's 20 people in here right now. Make sure we should have 20 likes. There's 20 people in here right now. Should have 20 likes right now. So let's go, man. Look, we're gonna go ahead and get it started. First and foremost, right here, HBCU basketball weekend. Preview of this weekend's games and what to expect in the standings. What to expect in the standings for today. I mean, for the rest of the season. Yo. Anyway, let me see something. All right. So on the women's side, we're gonna start on the women's side first. We're gonna start in the MEAC. Got some crucial games in the MEAC for this weekend. On Saturday, Morgan State versus Howard in DC. Delaware State takes on 1-23 South Carolina State Lady Bulldogs. Also, you got North Carolina Central hosting Maryland Eastern Shore. And last but not least, you got Norfolk State traveling to Baltimore to take on Coppin State. Those games all start at 1. The Morgan State Howard game and the Norfolk State Coppin State game are going to be on ESPN Plus. What does this mean in the conference? What does this mean for the conference right here? In the standings, you got Norfolk. Like I said, Norfolk is sitting at 8-1 right now in conference standing, 19-5 overall. They're basically one of the best women's teams that's out there right now. It's no joke, no bull jump. North Carolina Central, Coppin State, and Howard are all sitting at 6-3. Maryland Eastern Shore is sitting at 4-4. Morgan State 2-5. Delaware State at 2-6, and South Carolina State at 0-9. And on to the SWAC on the women's side of the SWAC. On Saturday, you got Jackson State taking on Alcorn at 1 o'clock down in Lorman, Mississippi. We also have Alabama State taking on Florida A&M. Alabama A&M is going to Bethune-Cookman in the sweat box. That's what I call that team. That's what I call that place that they play in, the sweat box. Grambling is taking on Southern down in Baton Rouge. Prairie View goes to Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Texas Southern makes their way to Itta to take on the Delta Devils, Lady Delta Devils. Lady Devils of Mississippi Valley State. In the conference, as always, going to the conference standings. Just like my girl Timona said, we're running a Boston right now with Jackson State sitting at 13-0, 18-6 overall. The best thing about this is that we are 10-0 at home. We are 10-0 at home. We are on a 13-game winning streak since our last loss to who was our last loss to? I want to know. Let me see who our last loss was to in the conference. Before conference play. Our last loss was to the University of Texas. That was our last loss. And remember that game was played here that was played in Austin. So that was the last loss that the ladies took before they went on their 13-game winning streak. So they have Alcorn, like I said, Alcorn at 1 o'clock on Saturday. That is the first game. And then we're gonna go to the men's side. Oh, let's do this. Because I really don't talk about this team that much. And we do need to make some noise about this team right here. Let's see. Don't really talk too much about this team, but we are going to talk about them. And we're going to talk about North Carolina A&T. They had a game on Sunday. They did. It was a double overtime game against Monmouth. They lost by 4. Games on Friday. Hampton is sitting at 2-20 right now. They are off Friday, but they do play this Sunday. And this Sunday they play against Elon. So in the standings, North Carolina A&T right now is sitting at second place in women's basketball in the Coastal Athletic Conference. They are sitting second place, only behind Stony Brook, who has a better record right now at 11-2 in the conference, but 21-3 overall. North Carolina A&T is 16-8 right now. Overall, in conference play, they are 10-3. So they pretty much are a game behind Stony Brook. And if I'm not mistaken, they have to play Stony Brook towards the end of the season, which is basically they play them next week, the following Sunday on the 3rd. Um, to me, that will see who will become the that game will determine. To me, that game will determine who will be the outright champ, regular season champion of the Coastal for the on the ladies side. Let's get to the men. Let's start with. I'm gonna start with the Coastal on the men's side. Uh, right now, A&T is playing Stony Brook on the men's side. They're getting whitewashed 80-59. They only have a minute and 24 seconds left in the second quarter. In the second half, their season is abysmal. They are 7-20, looking to be 7-21. Hampton is tied right now with Campbell with 10 minutes left in the game. And Hampton is 6-21. Both men's teams in the Coastal are basically abysmal, y'all. I'm just putting it out there. They're basically abysmal. Uh, let's jump to the OVC. Jump to the OVC tonight. We have games tonight. Tennessee State plays Eastern Illinois. This game is in Nashville. Tonight at 7:30, so it's get ready to start up in a few. That game is going to be on ESPN Plus. So they are sitting at 15-12 right now in the OVC. They are in sixth. They are in seventh place, where they still have 5 games left. I think they have 5 games left in the season. No, they have 4 games left this season, and then they start tournament play um, next week. Okay, let's see. Yep, they start tournament play next week. So they are sitting at 15-12 overall, 8-6 in the conference right now. Um, mm, let's see. All right, this show is monetized now. Okay, all right. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to it, y'all. Um, I don't know what's up with my stream. What's going on, Uncle Sid? What's going on, y'all? I hope everybody's still having a good time. Everybody's funneling in, filing in right now. All right, Uncle Willie. I'm gonna remind. I'll remind you. I'll make sure everything is on there. All right. So now let's get into the MEAC. Let's get into the MEAC. Uh, get to the MEAC. So they got games this Saturday. Of course, is all the same as what you saw. What I talked about with the women's. Uh, but these games will start at 3:00, and both the Copper State Norfolk Coppin game and the Morgan Howard game are going to be on ESPN Plus. Uh, let's see what we got as far as in the conference standings. Conference standings going on right now. Conference standings right now. Norfolk State right now is atop in the conference, 7-2 in conference play, 17-9 overall. Morgan State, South Carolina State, North Carolina Central, Howard and Delaware State all are at 5-4. So pretty much the standings can go either way. Just letting everybody know the standings can go either way. Appreciate you, Uncle Sid. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you, Uncle Sid. So Maryland Eastern Shore is at 3-6, and Copper State is at 1-8. But the top 6 teams right now, it's pretty much that can change at any time, any day. Anytime, any day. Those standards can change at a blink of an eye. I say this all the time. I say this all the time. Um, it's never over until it's never over until the fat lady done sung. And right now, I don't know if she humming or not, but she trying to fine tune her sensory apparatus in a minute. Um, Uncle said headed down to New Orleans, y'all. He said I'm headed to the NO. But other than that, y'all, that's what we got as far as for conference play in the MEAC, and then in the SWAC, because it's only fitting that we talk about the SWAC, y'all. Same thing as far as for the women, what we talked about. Men's got the same time. They start at 3:00. Except for so Jackson State Alcorn, 3:00 tip off this Saturday. And I think that game might be on not ESPN, but HBCU Go. In fact, let me check. Make sure that is correct. That is correct. Nah, it's Virginia Union, Virginia State this weekend. Okay. All right. All right. After that, Alabama State against Florida A&M, and I pulled up an article. Uh, Well, my guy Herb, he talked about this. Talked about this a while back, but in a way, there's no word in there is no way in the world that FAMU is this horrible in basketball and they don't put no type of incentive in basketball. That makes no sense whatsoever. Um, this game is down in Tallahassee at the Al Lawson Center. Like I said, it's a great this facility. Just it's empty because your team sucks. Alabama A&M takes on Bethune-Cookman in the Sweat Box this weekend. That game is at 3:00. Grambling men is going down to Baton Rouge to take on Southern. The game is at 4:30. Prairie View takes on Pine Bluff in Arkansas. That's a 5:30 tip-off. And Texas Southern takes on the 0-26 Mississippi Valley State Devils at 6:00 in Itta just to tell people right now, Mississippi Valley is eliminated from SWAC tournament contention. So even if they win their last couple of games, they will not be able to get into the tournament. We only send 8 to the tournament. Where we're sitting at right now, Grambling and Southern is tied for the lead in the conference at 10-3. So this basically would see who would probably be the number 1 seed. Right behind them, behind their heels, Jackson State, Texas Southern, and Alcorn all sitting at 8-5. The Jackson State Alcorn game will determine the tiebreaker who will be in third place. Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M all sit at 7-6. Pine Bluff is at 6-7. Prairie View at 5-8. FAMU at 2-11, and Valley at 0-13. Another thing, as far as with Southern is 10-0 at home. The game against Grambling is in Baton Rouge, where nobody has beaten this team in Baton Rouge. just put it like that. But the hottest team right now in the SWAC right now belongs to Alcorn and Jackson State. Winners of 4 in a row. And we come to we clash. We go into blows this coming up weekend. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that game this Saturday. Tune into it this Saturday. Make sure you don't miss nothing. Tune into it Saturday. Other than that, tree shaking elimination this weekend. I just gotta say, it's what's going on. What's about to happen this weekend. Tree shaking elimination. So before we do that, before we go into our next segment, we'll be right back with this next commercial brought to you by our sponsor at merchsports.com.
Yo, it's your boy Doc Holliday with HBCU Overdrive, and I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically designed to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiasts.
We're back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Make sure y'all check out the Black College Football Collection, Black College Football Fan Club Collection at shopmerchsports.com. Also, make sure if you can, we'll be still working on that discount code for us for the show. I think more likely it's going to be HBCU OD 10. So basically, we should get 10% off on this. And also, make sure we check out all the new things as far as with the hoodies coming up with the pre-sale. So I'm going to get back and talk with Merch on that, and we can try to get this thing going right here. Second, let's continue with this, y'all. Let's continue. SWAC basketball tournament is coming up, y'all. So y'all already know. Make sure it will be coming up in 2 weeks. Yes, sir. So it'll be coming up in 2 weeks. I did get the email from Andrew Roberts. Shout out to Andrew Roberts, who is the associate commissioner for the SWAC. Let me see. He did send it. And he did send me so I could do the media credential, request my media credentials, but I don't think I'll be able to go. Only because I haven't said anything to my boss about that, so it's all good. But we'll make my way down to Birmingham this coming summer. This summer for Media Day. Excuse me. So the tournament starts Wednesday, March 13th, goes all the way through Saturday, March 16th. So it's a 4-day event in Birmingham. So the games will be played at Bartow Arena on the campus of University of Alabama, Birmingham. We talked about this. I think me and Mr. Ford and Tomato, we talked about this before, and we wanted to make sure why we should have this somewhere else besides at Bartow Arena. But if the arena is giving it to us for free and we make the money at the door and stuff like that, I mean, that's still a win-win for the conference right there. Calling me at 7:41. Spam. So make sure right now when you get to it, if you are going to attend the tournament, like I said, it is from the 13th through the 16th. In March. So basically, you'll be able, make sure you get you a hotel hookup. Make sure you just make sure you get everything, get all your ducks in a row. So both finals will be played on the 16th. I talked about this before, and I kind of like the format of how we have it, but I feel like in a sense, the top 2 seeds should have a bye. The top 2 seeds should have a bye, and I think that would be good, and it gives the top 2 seeds they don't have to play 3 games, 4 games in 4 days, because that's literally what's happening. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm back. So literally, you're playing 4 games in 4 days. I think if you're the top two, if you're number one or number two in the tournament, I think you should be able to have a bye and basically, I mean, for the lower seeds, if they want to, they got to be able to run the gauntlet. So that's what happens when you play in conference basketball tournaments. Pretty much, you're running the gauntlet with what's going on, Pittman? What's happening? Uh, so just run the gauntlet. Hopefully, right now, the way that is looking, the number one seed in both the men's and the women, the number one seed in the women's is automatically going to be Jackson State women's basketball. The number one seed on the men's side will be determined by the game tomorrow between Grambling and Southern. But also, you still got a lot of basketball left to play. So it can go either way. People can come in and teams can come up and take the spot just like that. But if the tournament, if the season was to end today, Grambling and Southern would be the top two seed, number one, number two in the men's side. On the women's side, it will be Jackson State and Grambling on the women's side. Coming in at third on the men's side would be Jackson, and then on the women's side it would be Pine Bluff. But it's 8 teams that's going to be in the tournament. So to me, I would say give top two teams to have a bye week. Have a bye, not a bye week, but a bye before the next game. Because basically everybody's running basically a 4-game gauntlet. If you really think about it, just think about this. Back in the day when the Big East had like 14 teams and they staggered their brackets out the way it is, and basically teams was playing 4 games in 5 days. Some teams were playing 5 games in 6, five games in 5 games. They stretched it out. But I would like, this is just me. This is just me coming from me. I would like to see it. Top 2 teams get a bye. And then basically they play whoever is from 3 to 8 play to get quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals. So pretty much those who I think would be my number one seeds in the men's and the women's tournament. So pretty much that's kind of like what we, in a sense, that's what I'm looking for. Jay, you ain't missed too much right now. You ain't missed too much. There's 40 people in here. Make sure we get 40 likes right now. Let's get 40 likes right now. Shout out to my Uncle Sid for the shout out to Uncle Sid for the donations. Shout out to my Mr. Edwin Moore. What's going on, Square? But we will talk about the tournament a little bit more once the picture starts getting more clear of who would be 3 through 8. That's how we gonna finish talking about that. But next on my list, y'all, man, we want to get into it. I'm gonna talk about this right here: UAPB women's basketball fighting each other. And the question is, how would Coach Thornton diffuse the situation? Because I'm put just like this. I seen the video. I seen the video, and it was Zay Green, who is the lead scorer on the team, who is pretty much uh, Miss Do It All on the team. Um, and also it was, I don't know who it was, who else was in it, but my question is, first and foremost, what started this scuffle on the bench between teammates? Uh, Second of all, uh, my second thing I want to talk about is how is Coach Don Thornton gonna uh, move from this situation, move from this issue? Um, I said this last night on Timone's podcast with Mr. Ford is on there, and my whole thing is Coach Thornton is a mother, first and foremost. So she looks at her girls as her kids, as an extension to her family as her kids. Um, to me, I feel like once they got to that locker room after the game, and it was a hard fought game they played against Alabama A&M. They did lose that game, y'all. That was one of the upsets from the other night. They did lose that game. Who what was said in the locker room, and I don't know what was said verbatim. I'm not gonna get up in there and talk about it verbatim. I would just say allegedly. I'll say allegedly. Coach Thornton probably she put her foot down, and she put her foot down, and she feels like this is what she feels like. She feels like she has the team to make a full run in the SWAC tournament and to go to the NCAA tournament. So she feels like she has the team to do that. Now, you know, I don't know what happened. I don't know why they were squabbling on the sideline. But if you want continuity, you got to be able to right the ship, uh, and just say, look, we here for one common cause. That's it and that's all. No bullshit, excuse my language, no BS, none of that stuff. We're here for one common cause. We trying to win this conference. We're trying to win the conference tournament. We're trying to go to the NCAA tournament. But if we're not going to do that, we can't do that if we fight amongst each other. So, and I probably think it was it, I I put it like this: Coach Thornton, and I follow Coach on Twitter and everything. She's a spiritual lady and everything, but I promise you, I bet you my bottom dollar that it was some F-bombs being thrown in that locker room after the game, because that is a long drive back to Pine Bluff to one, lose the game in Huntsville, and then two, fighting amongst each other. So, hopefully, like I said, hopefully she got that all situated and diffused. They do have PV this weekend, so pretty much they're making their round to Texas this weekend. So, pretty much, hopefully she'll have a better a better outing this coming up this weekend than what she had this past week. So, other than that, we're gonna move on to the next We're gonna move on to the next topic on hand. Next topic on hand. We got swag baseball, y'all. Swag baseball, HBCU baseball. All together is something to admire because I just feel like this. I just feel like I'm like what my man Nick said. We was waiting like it was the Negro Leagues, like the Negro Leagues was getting ready to come back, and we was waiting and seeing what was about to happen with our teams on that diamond. On so as you see, who's hot and who needs a cold shower. It's still early in the season, but we're gonna get into it. All right, all right, EA. All right, Leonard, and you ain't the standard either, man. Cause y'all men's basketball team is trash. Cause we just talk about basketball. Your basketball team is trash. Your football team still in shambles. Don't know what's going on. So let's keep it let's keep it PG right now. Cause I can get on your head right now. Uh, Brandon, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that question in just a minute when we talk about that. Um, Afterwards. Oh, ain't nobody sensitive. Ain't nobody sensitive. I just try to keep it PG. Cause we get, y'all know we get spicy up in here in this chat. But uh, and then my boy was here right now, Jeremiah Clark. We be talking about baseball right now. So in the sweat right now, the hottest team right now is Jackson State right now in the sweat baseball. I would say also take, don't sleep on Prairie View with their baseball team. Let me see. Let me get these baseball standards coming on right now. Let me see something. And also, we're gonna get to talk about some softball too. So we're not gonna leave the ladies out. We're gonna talk about some softball also. So, all right, SWAC Weekly Baseball Honors. So I'm about to share the screen right here. All right. So SWAC baseball right now. Players of the week for the SWAC. We got Christian Lopez from Alabama State. Position is co-hitter. Okay. And Jalen Miles. So Christian Lopez is a third baseman from Alabama State. Jalen Miles is a shortstop from FAMU. So they are co-hitters of the week. Also, they got co-pitchers this week too. Trey Simmons from FAMU and Isaiah Williams from Jackson State are your co-pitchers of the week. Uh, not to be funny, but gonna get it to these standards right now. So Jackson State sits at 3-1 right now in the East. Also with Bethune-Cookman at 3-1. FAMU is at 2-1. Alabama State at 2-3. Alabama A&M at 1-3. And Valley, I think Valley has not played the game yet. Pine Bluff is sitting at 3-0. Prairie View 3-1. Texas Southern 2-2, Southern 1-2, Grambling at 1-3, and Alcorn State at 0-3. So yes, the hottest teams right now are Pine Bluff and Jackson State, and add in Bethune-Cookman, and you can add in FAMU too. Even though everybody has one loss, Pine Bluff is starting off at 3-0. Prairie View did start off the season 3-1. Their only loss was to, I think it was to Texas Southern over the weekend in the Cactus Jack Invitational. But overall, those are the hottest teams right now. And the one that needs a cold shower is Alcorn, as always. They need a very cold shower. Starting the season off 0-3. So we got some more. We got a lot of baseball to come. That's coming up. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure let's support these guys right here. It don't matter what school you represent. Make sure you go support these kids out there. Even on the softball diamond too. Make sure you support the ladies on the softball diamond also, because they also need to have the recognition too. So other than that, before we get into some football talk, we get into this other commercial. Be right back in just a minute.
It's your boy Doc Holliday. Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also you can get birthday shout outs on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket.
And we back, and we are back, and we are back. All right, so for a whole, when did this saga take place, y'all? So the saga took place after the season in December. Fred McNair informs Alcorn that he is taking his talents west to Houston, to H-Town, to become the head football coach at Texas Southern. Texas Southern goes in and basically says, hey, we want to make sure that the offer, you good with the offer, but we got a candidate. We got somebody in mind right now, and we just gonna sit back and see what happens. But before that happens, Fred goes back to Alcorn and asks him, are you going to match this, or are you going to put a little bit more in the pot? Because you talk about Fred as an established coach, an established assistant coach, and established head coach. Now, um, Alcorn decided they not going to match it, and they move on from Fred. They named Cedric Thomas the head coach. Um, so now Fred goes back to Texas Southern. The Board of Regents held it up, and Fred sits in limbo. Now my homie Miss Brandy, she started a campaign saying bring Mac to the Jack. Bring Big Mac to the Jack. Hey, we want him at Jackson State. We want him at Jackson State. But at the end of the day, I never thought that he would go to this school. And drum roll, please. Fred McNair is headed to Southern. What? I don't know how long they been talking. I don't know what's been going on. I would never expect Fred McNair to go down to Baton Rouge after so many times he done beat the brakes off them dudes down there. After so many times he done beat the dog doodle out the dudes down there, y'all. What makes him go down to Baton Rouge to your pretty much your division rival? So now Fred is going down to Southern. Don't know what his position would be at Southern University, but I would say this: Terrence Graves does have two of the best offensive minds in the game at Southern right now. One is Fred. The other one is Willie Satellite Totten, who is the QB coach for Southern right now. Don't know what type of capacity Fred, what his position, what his role is going to be at Southern University, but I expect for his role to be something dealing with football. So now what does this mean for his legacy? This means for his legacy, man, look, Fred McNair is an Alcorn braid all the way through. No ifs, ands, or buts. We talk about the man played at Alcorn, was quarterback at Alcorn, got his brother to Alcorn, got pretty much his whole family at Alcorn. Then he comes back to Alcorn under Jay Hobson, and he's an assistant coach at his alma mater. Then when Jay leaves to go to Southern Miss. Willie goes to Prairie View to be the head coach. Fred takes over, and he is the head coach of Alcorn State. And what did he do? I think Fred only had one losing season at Alcorn when he took it over. Let me make sure that is correct, because I don't want to feel like I'm wrong. He spent 8 years at Alcorn, y'all. He spent 8 years at Alcorn as a head coach. He actually spent 11 years at Alcorn as an assistant, a position coach and a head coach. We talking about as a coach, he won the SWAC twice in 2018, 2019. He had five SWAC East Division titles when he was still in when he has 4 East Division titles when they was in the Eastern Division before the alignment of the conference, and then 2023. 2023, he was this close of getting that 4th division title, that 5th division title. So his coaching, and I take that back. He only had 2 losing seasons at Alcorn. Both of them was 5-6. So we talk about a man who's 48-33 overall, 37-17 in the conference, 2 Celebration Bowl appearances as a head coach. And okay, and 2 Celebration Bowl losses. So I guess if you say so, Jack State Alcorn got something to say. I mean, well, we both lost Celebration Bowl twice, so but not the way that Alcorn lost. I'm gonna just be honest with you, especially when you get put 60 on you in your final game. 2020, they didn't have a team because that was COVID. COVID season, 6-5, 6-5, 5-6 in 22, 74 last season. And they was tied for first in the West. But remember, because they were tied for first in the West, they did lose to Prairie View. That was the tiebreaker. But what does this leave for his legacy at Alcorn? As far as being a head coach, just say that, I mean, he's an old school coach, had old school values, but he loved the team. He loved the university. He loved his team. But there was some issues that he had. It was an issue that he had with the university as far as getting things put in place with the team. Mm-mm-mm. He said he thought he went to Valley before he went to Southern. Nah, that wasn't gonna happen. Not with Coach Wade being there. Not with Coach Wade being there. I'm sorry, he wasn't gonna be at Valley. But I'm looking more into this as far as what his role is going to be at Southern University, and what we can expect. So let's move on to the next one. We got HBCU football talk. So we got the HBCU Legacy Bowl this weekend. It is this Saturday. That game is on the NFL Network. So make sure everybody watch that game. We got kids that's representing pretty much Division 1, Division 2, I think some NAIA schools. So we got some kids out there that are doing the damn thing, that are showing it out for the scouts that's out there that are trying to prepare themselves to be professionals. As far as media teams, Miss Brandy put this, she just asked me this earlier. For media teams who's there, I know Jackson State, I know Austin, and the crew is down there. I know Ken and Zoe and TD are down there also. My homie, Miss Angela, she is with Benedict College. She is down there in New Orleans. She hit me up about that. I know Timon was supposed to be down there, but um, it's kind of crazy when you got to do last minute stuff. Um, when you get stuff at the last minute, you just got to do last minute stuff. Also, I think it's some other media teams that's down there. Of course, I got Blue. He's down there. Uh, my bro Gerald Huggins with Draft HBCU. He's also down there. So we got plenty of folks that talk about HBCU football and that recorded it. We just content creators that are down there that is covering the Legacy Bowl. So yep, I forgot D Corey C with the Tiger Talk. They also down there too. But excuse me. What to expect from new coaches at the new schools? Who's going to be the biggest players in 2024? So we talking about pre spring game teams right now. We talking about pre portal, pre spring game, pre portal. So the portal is closed now, so everybody who's there, they are there at their respective schools. The new head coaches that we got in the SWAC right now, we got Coach Dishman at Texas Southern. You got Coach Colsey at FAMU. You have Coach Joseph at Grambling, Coach Graves at Southern, Coach Thomas at Alcorn. Who else am I think, am I missing anybody? Am I missing anybody? That's it. Five new head coaches in the conference. Um, a couple of them retreads. So if Coach Graves and Coach Thomas are retreads, Coach Joseph is coming from Power 5 from Nebraska, who he took that program over after Scott Frost destroyed it prior to him getting fired. Coach Dishman, he's coming from, I forget where he's coming from, but he has a tall hill to climb, y'all, with Texas Southern. Also, what we need to, you also got new coaches in the SIC at Benedict. Got a new coach at Benedict since Chanceberry is in the MEAC right now. You have a new coach at Allen University, Morehouse, Clark Atlanta. Yes, so yeah, 4 new head coaches in the SIC. In the MEAC, the MEAC is still pretty much the only coaching change in the MEAC was Buddy Pugh retiring at the end of the season and Chanceberry taking over the team for 2024. Now, coaches who are going to be on the hot seat this coming up year, if they don't get their ish together, I'm be honest with you. One coach who will be on the hot seat if they don't get their stuff together would be Coach Dawson Odoms at Norfolk State. I say this is because he's going into his 4th season, and he hasn't done too much of anything since he's been in Norfolk right now. He got some internal issues at Norfolk, and on external, as far as what you see on the football field, they don't have a reliable QB. Offense was stagnant at times. Especially last season, you lose to the Virginia State, who is a Division II school. And even though it's a rival, you can say it's a rival game. It's still a Division II school. You lost to them. Um, another team coach that's going to be on the hot seat is Coach Maynard. Looking at that schedule that he has for the beginning of 2024, I do not see him surviving going into the game against FAMU. So that I'm looking at this, and I looked at this. I looked at this schedule, y'all. I looked at this schedule for Alabama A&M. Um, Here we go. I looked at this schedule, see what this schedule looking like. So, like I said, first game of the season, they start off with Auburn University in Auburn. They have Kentucky State at home in the Louis Cruz Classic. Kentucky State is kind of getting their stuff together after all what was going on with them. Then they have Fayetteville State in Huntsville also, but expect that game to be. It's not going to be a blowout, but expect for Fayetteville State to give them a defensive matchup. And then they got Austin P. Now, after they go to Austin P, after that they have talent. They have FAMU in Tallahassee. They have Jackson State in Mobile. They have Bethune-Cookman at home, and right before that they had the match. After that they had the Magic City Classic. So if two games that you gotta win in that division, in the Eastern Division, is Jackson State and FAMU. You don't win those two games right there, there is no way you're going into Birmingham, into the Magic City Classic, playing against Alabama State and thinking that you're still going to keep your job. I'm just saying. Just saying. So, yeah, Maynard is on the hot seat. I think somebody said another person that's on the hot seat would be Vincent Brown at North Carolina A&T. I wouldn't say he would be on the hot seat, but that seat would be warm if he had the same season like he did that this past year. And if they can't throw the ball. All right, everybody be. I told you, I'll be hard headed. I would say Eddie George is on the hot seat only because the school still rides with him. And they still have love for their school, but I don't think he's on the hot seat just yet. But with all the moves that they have done this off season, it's supposed to be prime for him to get out of the hump, get out of the slump, get over the hump, and basically try to make it to the FCS playoffs. Remember, they don't play. They're not in the Celebration Bowl talk. They go to the FCS playoffs. So Hopefully, you'll succeed a better offense with Tyler Rowe as the offensive coordinator coming in over from North Dakota State, and of course, you got Brandon Fisher with the Fisher defense, strong defense. Man, you talking about their defense is nasty. Their defense look like almost a Power Five defense if you really think about it, as far as size goes. But you got to get it done, got to get over the hump. And if you don't get over the hump, then I would say, yes, you are officially on the hot seat. Especially, you cannot have games like you had last season towards the end of the year where you're losing to Tennessee Tech and you're losing to Eastern Illinois. You didn't have a chance to play SEMO last season. That was one good thing right there, but you got them this year, though. You got SEMO this year. So, uh, you got Gardner Webb. I think you got Gardner Webb in North Carolina too. So make sure. I mean, you got to make sure you get those games out the way. I mean, he hadn't won anything, but it's still a work in progress. See, we I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We get into this fantasy about trying to get something started, microwave, and it. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's Deion's fault. I don't even mention that man's name like that. It's his fault. He microwaved what the success that we had at Jackson State the last 2 years. Those 2 years he was there, 3 years he was there. He microwaved it. It was a microwave success. We can't microwave this type of success. You gotta make sure you gotta be able to build it up from ground level. And I think that's what Eddie George is doing to build it up at ground level. Now, all depends on who his play caller is. He's gonna have to replace some key players on his defense. But we talking about Brandon Fisher being a defensive coordinator. We talking about them going out there and recruiting. He's not just recruiting on his name alone. He's giving them a chance to see what the university and what his program is all about, and what he is all about as a man and as a coach. So so he's 4. Yeah, he's about to be 4 years in. All right. So it's to me is break a bust. That's what I see right here. Um, yeah, the end of the year losses messed up everything because they had a chance to go to the playoffs. They had a chance to be 8-3 and go to the playoffs, and they it just fell flat in front of their face. The last 3 games. Um, Another coach I feel like they might be on the hot seat. If you don't get over that hump, and he has the team that can get over the hump, is Eddie Robinson Jr. at Alabama State. Um, you had a quarterback last year, Damon Stewart. You let him go. I think he's at Sanford, not right now. You bring in Andrew Body from Texas Southern, who is dynamic in his own right, but gotta make sure that he stays upright and stays injury free. Um, the offensive play caller was abysmal under Harry Williams. He's gone. He's at Tuskegee now, and you bring in Chris Barnett from Winston-Salem State. So you had a lot of changes with your coaching and with players coming in. Bubba Adams is gone. He's testing his. He took a full dive into the NFL draft process, so he's gone for the foreseeable future. And then you bring in Rico Dozier from Pine Bluff, who is actually from Alabama. Didn't know that, but bring him in to kind of be the replacement for Bubba. But I'll say like this: it all rests upon the shoulders of Andrew Body. Make sure that Andrew Body stays upright. Oh man. A woman was found dead on the campus at University of Georgia. They canceled classes for today and tomorrow. Um, First and foremost, send my condolences out to University of Georgia. Send my condolences out to the family of the lady that was found today. And sending prayers to the kids on the campus. Try to get through all this stuff. It's hard to hear, hard to talk about stuff like that when it always happens. Um, but yeah. Oh man. Let's see. We got some, in the HBCU football. We still talk about HBCU football. Another team that needs to have a make or break season. And it's in the MEAC. And I'm looking at Morgan State. I'm looking at Morgan State having to make a break season. Um, gotta be able to find you a QB. You have the defense. Daniel Wilson put together a great defense. Got the defense. Got to find the QB. You got skill position players all around the the field, but you got to get a QB. Got to get a QB that can throw the ball, that is not afraid to air the ball out, and the offense cannot be anemic. That was an issue that y'all had last season. The offense was anemic at times. Put your defense in so many spots that was bad, and they had to bail out the offense. So I would say Morgan State on in the MEAC. I would also say South Carolina State, because if you're looking at Chinnisberry coming in and you want to see him kind of duplicate what he did at Benedict, but you got to remember that when he was at Benedict, his first year at Benedict, he went 5-6, and then the last 2 years, the man only lost 3 games the last 2 years. He is 23-3, if I'm not mistaken. North Carolina's A&T is one in the Coastal Athletic Conference. They got to get it done too. A lot of people are going to be saying we hired the wrong person. We let the wrong person go. They should have never let him go. In the SIAC, we got a team is up and coming right now. Would be Edward Waters. Edward Waters. We talk about Coach Toriano Morgan and his squad down in Jacksonville, who's getting it done. Kind of bringing them back. Only thing they have to do is replace the QB, Jaron Russell, who was an Alcorn transfer, was pretty much one of the top passers in the conference. Also, a team that I think that's going to make some noise this year also would be Clark Atlanta. You know, Teddy Keaton is coming in from Allen University, bringing in majority of his players from Allen, and pretty much he has his sights set on wanting to be dominant. He has his sights set on being dominant. I don't think anybody would think that he don't want to be dominant. He wants to be dominant right now. So we also got to look out, like I said, look out for them. Oh yeah, EA. I already talked about Dawson Knox on the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat since last year. No, Big Worm is Dawson Hold'ems. Yeah, it's Dawson Hold'ems. That's Big Worm. I don't know why my thing ain't coming up. But anyway, in the CIAA, I'm looking at a team that's coming up right now. Johnson C. Smith, who surprised me last season, and also made a trip to the Florida Beach Bowl. A team that I'm looking that might regress, that probably will be on the hot seat, would be it's two. For one, it'll be St. Augustine University, St. Augustine, however you say it. And two, I say Shaw University. St. Aug got a lot of issues going on with the university, and I just feel like, in a sense, they don't need to too much focus on athletics, because most of their issues is athletic related when it comes to money. And then with Shaw University, I just feel like they have not gotten over that hump, and especially being in the CIAA, I think it's the CIAA South, they still have to contend with Fayetteville State. You still got to go around and contend with Winston-Salem and Johnson C. Smith. So I think those are the teams that are on the hot seat right now, and the teams that's moving up. Look at Virginia State and Virginia Union. Those are two power players, as always. Fayetteville State is power players too in the CIAA. Don't sleep on Bowie State. I think they'll probably come back and try to wreak havoc in the up there in the north. But last but not least, before we get into our last topic of the day, gonna hit that last commercial. Be right back.
Yo, it's your boy Doc Holliday with HBCU Overdrive, and I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically designed to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead, and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiasts.
All right. I think my unc done hit me up, asked me this question. He asked me, how do I predict Benedict since Coach Hercules has left? He ain't Coach Hercules. That's Black Thanos right there. I think they'll still be. I think they'll still be relevant, but I don't think it'll be the way it was when he was there. But we won't know until after spring game. Won't know until after the portal, the second wave of the portal come in and the summer transfers. But we should we should figure it out. We should find out before the first game of the season. That's how I see it. Last but not least, we got Jackson State football. And this is coming from my people. This coming from my people right here. Big concerns and questions for the roster and the coaching staff. So my big concern is, first and foremost, is the coaching staff, because we had, in the last couple of months, we had 3 of our major coaches leave to go to other programs. Coach J.O. and Coach Bradley heading down to South Alabama to be with Major Applewhite at his program. And then last week, Coach Harris making his exit out of Jackson to head to Auburn, Alabama to be back with Coach Hugh Freeze. He would not be in capacity of coaching. He will be more in the capacity of director of football operations. Coach Bradley is going to be the defensive line coach at South Alabama, and Coach J.O. is going to be the offensive line coach. So we honestly, those were the 3 coaches that I was kind of worried about: offense coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then offensive line coach. Offensive line coach has been replaced with Manny Ramirez from Texas Southern University. I forgot our wide receiver coach did leave out. We did pick up wide receiver coach Vincent Marshall from Norfolk State. Also played football at the University of Houston under Coach Art Browse. So I would say those were my major concerns as far as on the coaching staff. We're still looking for a defensive coordinator. We're still looking for an offensive coordinator. Hopefully we get those in. We can get those in before spring practice come around. You need to have that in before spring practice. That spring practice coming up in a couple of weeks. So I don't know who would be the defensive coordinator. I still would say Terezzo Quinn would be the defensive coordinator, and then you can move Coach Magana from cornerbacks coach to you can move him to DB. You can move him into Quinn's role as DB coach. Offensively, I wouldn't want TC to call the play offensively. I will be like Timona what she said. I would be hiring somebody, a young up and coming offensive coordinator, trying to get his feet in the game and see where we go from there. I don't know. TC don't say too much anything. TC does all his stuff in silence. So y'all already know how he does his, he does his thing, and we always on standby. But we do have a very stable program as far as with concerns, as far as roster. The Only the issue that I had with the roster, we need to get more linebackers in. Our line, like I said, our linebacker play was horrible. It was horrendous. The only bright spot on our linebackers in our linebacker room was Isaac Peppers, and he was used mostly on blitz schemes. Um, I'm not saying too much anything bad about Philip Clark or Alan Walker. We just did not see the flashes with them. We did have a linebacker, but he was playing out of position. He was playing on the defensive line, and Antonio Doyle, he is gone. Um, he has left the program. Um, so what I wanted to see is us get uh, bigger and faster linebackers who can move from sideline to sideline. Um, we had one that committed to us. He was there, and for some reason, he wanted to do something stupid, and he was let go. Um, But other than that, we gotta fix the linebackers. DBs is great. Defensive line, we need to build back up our depth on the defensive line. On the offensive side of the ball, bringing back Herb Mulligan. And first of all, let me say this. I forgot. That's who I meant to shout out last time. Shout out to Herb Mulligan. His birthday was this past week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Somebody remind me of that. Shout out to Herb. Happy birthday to you, bro. Give Mr. Mulligan the damn ball. um, so that's what I see. That's what I had issues. My concerns were on the roster. We did got a couple of QBs on the roster. We got our skill position. Our wide receiver room is stacked. We still got some good tight ends coming in. Um, just like what we said last season, right before the season started, you're looking at the evolution of what TC is trying to do. The man is trying to. He's never been a person that threw for 4,000 yards in a season, nothing like that. He's always been the person that when he played, they ran a balanced offense. When he was offense coordinator at Central and at Texas, at his other spots at Oklahoma, he wanted to run a balanced offense, probably 55% run, 45% pass. So you're looking at that same type of formula that he wants to have here with this program on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, I think he wants us to fly to the ball. He wants hat. He wants hat to the ball. He wants to bring back the real dark side defense and not what we saw 2 years ago. Don't get me wrong. I love what we had 2 years ago, those 2 years, but the real dark side defense is we don't give up nothing. So, um, like I said, I expect some players to transfer out at the spring game. Um, I expect some players to um, move up. I expect a lot of players come in from walk-on tryout to be on the team, and then I expect that second wave of portal kids to come into the program to where we should have the roster should be set in stone by no later than July before media day. Uh, yeah, It's gonna be hurt. It's gonna be some hurt feelings in the room with the running backs and the wide receivers because that those two positions are so stacked. Uh, but if you want to be on the team, you're gonna have to sacrifice and play. You think you're gonna start? You're gonna have to sacrifice. You're probably gonna have to play some special teams. Get you out there on the field. Don't matter. Play special teams. Yeah, we need the coaches by there by the start of spring practice. We need these coaches there. Oh, I know the O line coach is already there. We need the two. We need to get those settled in because if not, then it's gonna be some little bit of chaos. Chaos. It ain't organized chaos. Is what I like. It's gonna be some more chaos. Like what the hell is going on? Um, hey, Mr. Nate, what's going on? I ain't sleeping on that QB room. I ain't sleeping on your son, man. Your son gonna be out there. He thugging it. Uh, he thugging it out there in the practice and stuff. So I like what I see with Ethan, man. Um, but other than that, look, we like I said, we got basketball. We got basketball coming up this weekend. Um, we going down into the home stretch. The last 5 games of the season, going down through the home stretch. Make sure y'all tune in. Um, Also, if you're watching the men's game, make sure you have your heart medicine because these dudes my goodness, they have me about to have a heart attack up in here. Um, but other than that, it's been a fun night. This has been a fun evening, but I am about to jump off this thing in a second and get me something to eat. But before we do that, last commercial break, and then we up out of here.
It's your boy Doc Holiday. Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also, you can get birthday shoutouts on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal, David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle, David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket.
All right. Get that. Had to get that air horn going. But man, make sure y'all, like the commercial said, make sure that you like the stream, make sure that you comment, share, and most of all, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. So, from my friends to you, from me to you, I bid you adieu. But make sure you hit the donation button because we got the bills. We got to pay the bills to keep this thing afloat. I've been, financially, it's crazy right now. Financially, it's kind of crazy right now. But we got to make sure we pay the bills up there, right here. And hit up that Cash App, hit up the PayPal, hit up the Zelle. Like I said, don't go into the pocket because I got to make sure we got to get some stuff on the wall right here. Get some stuff on this wall and and just make some, make a big difference when we put stuff together. But as always, um, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Hug your loved ones, and more than likely be back on this thing tomorrow. Uh, Either tomorrow night or Saturday night, depending. It depends. But we out this thing. Peace.